Hey friends, today I'm renovating a house in Oasis Springs so the singles household from The Sims 2 have a place to live. So I'm over in this area of Oasis Springs. This is the Vista Quarry house. It is near where the BFF household lives, and I'm just kind of going through and removing a bunch of things right now. And I just kind of resized the house so that we can have 4 bedrooms for the 4 different Sims who will live here. And I really liked this sort of mid-century style house, and I wanted to, keep a lot of that sort of style throughout. So it doesn't. Well, I guess it does look quite a bit different from the base game version, but the shell is pretty similar. And I will skip ahead a few times throughout, just because I end up spending a lot of time trying to pick out different things. So like the roof, for instance, and some of these like wallpapers and whatnot. I spent entirely too long, so I cut out a bunch of things that are just kind of boring to watch. But yeah, so the singles household from Strangetown in The Sims 2. There are 4 Sims. There is Chloe, Lola, Erin, and Kristen. So Chloe and Lola are sisters, and they are actually aliens. And I mentioned them in my Smith house build that I did earlier, but I kind of misspoke because it wasn't, it was the dad from the Smith house impregnated the father of the Curious family, so it wasn't actually one of the Curious brothers, which I mentioned. But yeah, a lot of drama right there. So so Chloe, I'll start with Lola. Her bio from The Sims 2 is intelligent and focused. Lola knows what she wants and how to get it. She enjoys politics and telling those around her what to do. And then Chloe, her sister, the complete opposite of her sister. Chloe just wants to meet new people and to have a good time. She can often be found daydreaming or chatting on the phone. And Erin, who is a human, Erin spends a lot of time working on her psychic powers. Of course, she isn't really psychic, but don't tell her that. And then Kristen, who's also a human. Kristen envisions herself as a world-famous sports champion. She doesn't particularly care for Strangetown, but it's only a pit stop on her track to greatness. So I kind of based all of the different bedrooms off of those bios to try and customize the rooms a bit for each of the Sims. So I'll kind of go over that when we get to them. But yeah, here in the living area, I really wanted to do like a conversation pit sort of feel from, a lot of houses built in like the 50s, 60s, 70s. But there wasn't quite enough room to do it how I wanted, but I did just end up using, platforms, and I lowered it down a step. So it at least gives it some dimension. And then, yeah, just trying to find a bunch of different mid-century sort of furnishings for this house. So I end up using quite a bit of furniture from Get Famous, the Bowling Night kit or stuff pack, and Tiny Living, I think. And Dream Home Decorator. All of those packs have quite a few different mid-century modern sort of pieces. So used a lot of different things from there. And I wanted the whole house to feel very clean, organized, but also fairly bright and have some nice colors. So like here in the kitchen, I use a lot of blue for the counter, for the cabinetry, and a lot of pops of yellow for like the chairs, things like that. I thought that made a lot of sense in here. And even though I did have to make the house, quite a bit bigger, and it did eat into the backyard a bit, I was able to do like a whole pool and everything back there. So, that'll be, of course, later. But just kind of working on some of the cabinetry here. I used one of the kitchen sets from Dream Home Decorator. I thought that worked out well in here. And then these really great paintings from Get Famous. I use those all the time. They have a lot of really great swatches. And then some of these movie posters, I think they're from Get Famous as well. Though I thought that made sense, kind of coordinated with some of the colors. And I used this really great corner piece from the bowling stuff. So this first bedroom is actually Chloe's. So she's the one who just kind of wants to have a good time, daydream, talk on the phone, things like that. So I do use quite a bit of mid-century sort of furniture in here, but I wanted it to be fairly colorful and a little bit more fun. So I try to inject some pops of color in here. And I had a really fun time furnishing all of these bedrooms. I just think it's so much fun when you have like really clear characters that you're designing for. Makes it quite a bit easier in my opinion, and yeah, just a lot more fun. You can really tell a lot about the characters just through the furnishings in the room. So yeah, I wanted to use quite a few different bright colors in here. I used that great magazine stack from Moschino. And yeah, that'll pretty much wrap up this room. And then I believe I do the bathroom next. And I did cut out quite a bit on this one as well. I took forever to look at floor tiles, and I actually changed those again. So, but yeah, pretty standard, just a shower tub combo, one sink, and then the toilet. And then I kind of clutter up the counters just to make it look a little bit more lived in, I guess. And yeah, the singles household, they don't actually have a house in The Sims 2. They're just on a blank lot when you start the game. So I thought I would, actually build them a house here in The Sims 4. I think they deserve it. And yeah, I think that kind of helps with some of the storytelling as well. But yeah, now we're moving over to Kristen's bedroom. And I struggled with hers a little bit because I wasn't 100% sure how like sporty I wanted to make it. Because I was originally thinking of her as maybe like a soccer player or some sort of maybe more traditional athlete. But then I eventually, when I was scrolling through things, I saw a bunch of different things from Snowy Escape. So I thought maybe she could be like a professional snowboarder or skier. I thought that was really cool. Maybe that's why she doesn't really like Strange Town or Oasis Springs in this case, because she wants to live like in the mountains with the snow, but circumstances have brought her here. Yeah, I thought that was kind of some interesting storytelling as well. And I go with sort of a minty green color scheme throughout the bedroom. I also envisioned her as like a very practical sim, so that she ended up just buying a whole furniture set at the same time, so all of the pieces just match. I thought that was kind of funny. But maybe one of the end tables, maybe a friend of hers painted it. Maybe she's not as creative, but her friend wanted to do something, so that's why one of them's painted and one of them's plain. I thought that was kind of fun. And then I used the that item from High School Years. It's got some really cool swatches with a whole bunch of different sort of things to really kind of tell that story, I guess, with skiing and snowboarding and maybe mountain climbing, things like that. So yeah, definitely used a whole bunch of different Snowy Escape stuff. I really love that like the skis that are hanging on the wall as like a coat rack. I thought that was kind of cool. And I thought maybe she likes to game and things like that, so I gave her a little bit more serious computer. And at one point I was trying to fit in like a punching bag in here, but that was not really going to fit. So, but I think this makes more sense with her being really into skiing and winter sports, things like that. And then moving over to Lola's bedroom. Now her bedroom I kept a little bit maybe more simple, or not quite as detailed. Just because she's a very serious sim, very into politics and wanting to just like be in charge and do things. So I felt like her room should be maybe a little bit more grown up, if you will. Not quite as much personality throughout it. Not to say that people who are into politics don't have a good personality, but I just thought it made sense for this character. And yeah, I do struggle with trying to figure out how I wanted to lay things out, what kind of furniture to include. But I do eventually add in like this TV stand, and then I do kind of coordinating wardrobe stuff from Dream Home Decorator. I thought those kind of fit together really well. I can imagine she'd want everything like nice and tidy, put away, and all of that. And I wasn't originally planning to put a TV in her bedroom. I didn't really see her as someone who would watch a lot of television while she's in her bedroom. But I thought maybe she would like to listen to, the news or whatever while she's working at her laptop. And I thought I'd put these 3 clocks up, like in a lot of political things you see where they have like multiple clocks for different time zones. Maybe she's tracking, the time in different places. I thought that was kind of funny. Although I didn't really have any sort of sign to put up with it to make it look like, it'd say like the city name and whatnot. But I thought that was still kind of a funny nod toward it. And then this bathroom is pretty similar to the other one. I struggled a bit with the windows that I put in here. They were because the tub and stuff kept clipping with them. So luckily the shower seemed to work okay. I thought that was fine in here as long as there's one bathtub on the lot. I thought that made sense. And yeah, this bathroom's pretty simple, pretty much the same as the other one. Slightly different color scheme, but overall pretty much the same. And then this last bedroom that I work on is for Erin, and she's the one who is interested in being a psychic, even though she apparently does not have any psychic powers. But I ended up using a lot of things from the paranormal stuff pack. I thought maybe she was like into doing seances and things like that. Maybe there's an opportunity there for her to become like a paranormal investigator. I thought that would be kind of fun. So her room is very like kind of bohemian, very colorful. I thought that made a lot of sense for her character. And yeah, I cut out quite a bit on this one too, because I was really struggling to figure out what kind of tables and things and like wardrobes and stuff like that I wanted in here. But I ended up just using the one from paranormal stuff. That worked out really nicely in here. I probably also spent like 20 minutes trying to figure out what rugs I wanted, so I did cut out a lot of that too. Because I really wanted it to be colorful in here and just, have a whole bunch of different styles going on. This room was a lot of fun, even if it was a little tricky to furnish, since like it didn't really matter as much as things matched per se, but I still wanted it to, look good. But yeah, and then I used some things from like the Maximalist kit, like this table, which is really great. Really, it coordinates really well with the chair and the other table from Paranormal. But I just use it in a couple different colors and really just clutter the heck out of it. I thought that made a lot of sense. I also end up putting up a plant thing on the wall. I imagine maybe she grows different herbs for her like rituals, things like that, like some sage and whatnot. I thought that was good for storytelling. I also really love the little like dog succulent planter. I thought that was really cute. And I used a couple of different plants from the Blooming Rooms kit. Again, this build uses pretty much every pack, so I apologize if you have difficulty downloading it. But for these, I really don't want to limit myself on packs. But yeah, I really should do a limited pack build soon. Maybe or maybe even do like a build challenge. I know I've seen like the one from Plumbella going around. I think that one would be a lot of fun. So yeah, now I'm just back in the living room, just kind of going around and adding like a whole bunch of different details to different areas. Because when I was first building this, I was really just looking for things that fit under like the mid-century style. So I didn't really detail as I was going. So I kind of go back through and add a bunch of different clutter items and things like that. I'll add in some different artwork on the walls and kind of repaint some things. But yeah, I also want to go through and actually create the Sims from The Sims 2, like in CAS, but you'll have to let me know if that's like a video you'd want to see, or if you just, I can just do it and add them to the gallery or whatnot. But yeah, let me know if that is something you would be interested in seeing. I think that would be a lot of fun. I did create the Broke family at one point, but I might go back and redo that because that's been a little while now. But yeah, just kind of, I think hopefully finishing up the inside soon, and then I'll move to the outside, and that'll be kind of the last main area that I do. And this house will kind of wrap up the, I guess, the aliens who live in Strange Town in The Sims 2. And then I don't know if I want to do, I could do like the Beaker family or the Spectre family. They're both really interesting. So you'll have to let me know if you have a preference. But yeah, now I'm here in the backyard. I wanted to put in a pool since they live in the desert. I thought that made a lot of sense. And yeah, I go for this kind of differently shaped one, kind of the octagonal one. I thought that was kind of, a fun little detail. And yeah, just kind of, I decided to do this, whole covered porch area in the back, just so they have a little bit more living space out here, especially since it's, in the desert. It'd be really hot. It'd be nice to have a covered area to hang out in. And yeah, using a whole bunch of different things. I thought maybe, like Erin especially would like some planters for some different herbs and whatnot that she wants to grow for her seances and all of that. Also, I swear every time I need to record audio, everything needs to be super loud outside while I'm doing it. So I apologize if you can hear honking and cars flying by. I thought maybe I had my microphone set up so it wouldn't capture some of that, but sometimes it's just super loud. So apologies if you hear any of that. But yeah, just adding a bunch of different details around the back patio area. I also decided to put a fence around it, really more for safety, just so people aren't like wandering in, which obviously wouldn't happen in The Sims. But I thought this fence was a really great opportunity to use this fence because I never really have a use for this specific one, because it's not really for privacy since you can just see right through it. But yeah, I thought that looked nice with the house. And then I do these kind of small little planter areas for the palm trees, and then I'll add in some bushes from the front. And I don't do a lot of landscaping on this lot. I actually kind of liked how they originally landscaped it, so didn't have to do too much, thankfully, which is always nice. And it's not very often that I compliment the Sims 4's landscaping choices, so well done, the Sims team. But I do just kind of rearrange a couple things, and then I will work on all of the lighting for the house. Just kind of do some sconces outside. The ones that originally came on the house were pretty good, so I just kind of used some of those in the back. And then, of course, had to add in some lights for the pool, and then just kind of some standard lawn yard lights, I guess. I really like that lantern. I thought that looked really nice. And then added in some hanging lights for the outside, and then just kind of go through and add in, lighting throughout the entire house. I tried to, keep it as mid-century modern as possible. I don't know for sure if all of the lights really fit the style. But I thought these sconces really worked, although I did go a little overboard with how many I placed. And yeah, I just really like how the lighting and really how the whole house turned out. I don't know, I really love renovating houses in The Sims. I think that's always really fun. Just kind of envision, new ways to furnish and lay out the house. So I might have to do some more renovations of, especially the EA builds. Those ones are pretty rough. So, but yeah, we are getting pretty much, pretty close to the end here. I'll just finish up lighting, and then that'll be it, really. So I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video today. If you have any comments, please leave them below. I would love to hear them, and please like the video if you enjoyed it. Thanks again, and have a great day.